Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing The Last of Us Remastered on grounded difficulty. This is my no damage guide and walkthrough. We are now on chapter 7, and this is the Tommy's Dam section. So I've often wondered why it's called Tommy's Dam. Not sure. I guess Tommy took control of it. But do you notice Joel's attire? Joel got a new shirt for himself, and Ellie got some clothes too, but I'm more concerned about Joel's clothes. You got a new shirt. Did you get a new shirt for yourself and Joel? Did you get some new clothes? Did you get some new fucking clothes? Look at this. We get a new weapon and they give us 1 round for it. 1 round. Thanks. Thanks for the shit, assholes. I hope your campaign's going well. I'm here to ensure that it does. And a bit of bad news. Nothing serious. It's just related to the game. The shiv door that's coming up, I couldn't access it. I was short some bandages. I mean, not bandages, but I was short some tape. So I couldn't. It says requires a full shiv. So. Did it say that elsewhere in the game? I'm not sure if you need, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Frankly, it does not matter because I can't open this door and I want to get my hands on what lies beyond the door. I want my shit and I can't have it, and I'm a little bit irritated about that fact because I know that there is an arrow in there and it would be nice to have that arrow, but we're not going to be able to get anything. So I'm not even going to approach it. And I looked high and low, guys. I looked all over the place, and I did not see it. So you definitely cannot. You can't get all the shiv doors on grounded difficulty. I've been pretty conservative too with the crafting of the items that take up what shivs need to be produced with, namely the scissors and the binding. And when I say binding, I just mean it's like duct tape is what it is. So I don't have enough duct tape. I have enough scissors, and I checked all over the place. I checked under the water. I checked everywhere. There's nothing. Like I said, this game gives you dog shit, and you're expected to eat it up like it's something pretty good, although you know that it's fucking nasty shit. But anyway, everything's all good in my head, so hopefully everything's going pretty good for yourself and over in your neck of the woods. We are going to be coming up on Tommy's Dam, the titular Tommy's Dam. And I think Tommy's taken up a new wife for himself so things are going pretty good for him, I guess, if he's got himself and a wife. I can't believe the nerve of the game giving me 1 bullet. Yeah, alright, we'll give you a high five. You don't have to give her a high five if you don't want to. But, the nerve of this fucking game giving me 1 bullet. 1 bullet, man. God. I even was hoping that there was some tape over here. Nothing. I mean, there are some spare parts in the small little building over here, right? I think there might even have been some scissors in there too. But I'm a little, and of course, had I been manipulating the game, crafting, as many shivs as I needed to, every time I came upon one of the upgraded weapons, I could definitely have opened all of the shiv doors. But, and I know that I could have had more restraint on other areas. I know that because, it's just, I don't know. I mean, we don't need any vitamins anymore. So I'm going to craft a nail bomb over here. I'm going to craft a smoke bomb, because it looked like we had just we were getting to that point where we might not even be able to pick up those items. We had so many of them. So if everybody would come on over here, we can get going with this. Can anybody tell me where we were? Because this is a second audio commentary that I'm now inserting into the video. I was probably saying something about Tommy being an ugly dog or something like that. I think that's where I was. He's got a dirty damned face. And I think this woman in the black jacket, I think it's his companion, if not his wife. So at the end of the fight that's coming up, she comes out of the office, and I mistook her for an enemy, and I didn't remember that. Her coming out of the office means that you've cleared the fight. So we've got a very difficult sequence of fights that you need to do, and again, it's really reprehensible the way that they remove the checkpoints from this. And as we do a few mundane things over here that don't pertain to anything that you're going to need on a guide, except for being able to go in the right direction, possibly if you need help finding the way to go. What's coming up is quite difficult. Now, difficult in the sense that just doing the fights, they're still hard, even if you're not trying to go for no damage. This game works really well for no damage too. I think that there should have definitely been a trophy for no damaging the game, because you simply, it's not like a third person game like Uncharted where you get damaged constantly. Like I've said before in either this video or in other videos, enemies are often inaccurate, meaning that you get the benefit of the doubt with respect to targets hitting your hitbox and incurring you damage. So it's very fair in that regard. So, but the removal of the checkpoints is just, like I said, reprehensible, and it's just it should definitely not be a trend that we see recurring. But for whatever reason, they seem to be really keen on this idea of just removing checkpoints that make the game a lot more playable and more fun. And with them removed, it just makes a lot more hardships crop up for players. So remember to pick up a brick over here. And also remember, although I'm probably not going to have to remind you, that we're going to be coming back the way we're going now, in the opposite direction, and there's going to be a huge fight, and this is only going to be one phase of the fight. So this fight that's coming up is going to be broken up into, at the very least, like 3 phases. So when we come back up here, there should be a, so there should be some parts right over there. There's going to be a tomahawk out here when we next find ourselves out here. So for right now, we're just going to continue to follow Tommy into this office area over here. Pick up some pills over here, and visit the workbench over here to do a little bit more upgrading for ourselves. But the expectations placed on the player on grounded difficulty are the only word that I'm they're extremely high, and to do it no damage, there's really only one thing that's going to make this more manageable for you, and that is we're going to be spawn trapping and killing some enemies, because without it's just an overload on the expectations of the game. Now, I guess it would be fair to say, and by the way, to prevent yourself from having to come into this room every time, what you want to do is come into this room before the fight starts, so that you can just have to do this one time. So just remember, so that it's going to save yourself from having to do that room over and over again. So just be sure to ransack that room before you proceed into the doorway at the end of this room. And then we're going to have a conversation with Tommy, which is a cutscene in which I've edited out. And then we're going to be doing the fight, which is it's just one of those mandatory fights, unavoidable, and it's just not stealth. It's just pure combat. So the fight is going to start on this floor, and there's going to be 2 enemies on this floor that you're going to be responsible for killing. And I say that a little loosely because you're not always going to be the one that kills both of these enemies, because your teammates are quite capable of dispatching enemies for you. Now, I ran up here and bricked that first enemy. There are many bricks down there that you can pick up for yourself. So, when you've used one, just go pick up another one. So this fight over here, this is an example, at least my fight that I'm showing you over here. This is an example. I believe my teammates killed one of the 2 enemies on the ground floor. If that didn't happen, what probably happened instead was that one of the enemies that usually comes down here was a little bit late in so doing. So you're probably going to see a guy running down the stairs at some point, and that is going to be the second guy. But I felt kind of bad when one of the friendlies fell right there, but. Yeah, so our goal, since we're trying to recoup our losses from the Pittsburgh chapter, our goal is you're only going to see me fire my guns like one time. Here's the second guy coming down here right now. And these guys some of them have body armor, so the armor piercing upgrade for the hunting rifle is going to come in handy. I personally don't have that upgrade purchased right now, but that could change. It might not, but we'll see. I've left in all of my my crafting and everything like that. So now that we've killed 2 enemies, there's going to be a couple more enemies to take care of up here, and to do this no damage is it's you're taking a little bit of a risk coming up here, but if I wouldn't have to clip against Tommy, it wouldn't be so bad. But pick up a brick and then come up the stairs over here, carefully, mind you, because there's going to be 2 more enemies that we need to take out before we can push forward. Although I think if you wanted to risk it, you can just leave. You could leave once you've cleared out the 2 guys on the bottom floor. Because what's going to happen is we're going to leave after this fight and proceed to the outside area where the actual dam was, and we're going to trap and spawn kill enemies, because otherwise there's just way too much on the line. It takes way too long, and there's absolutely no checkpoint anywhere. It's completely inconsiderate. Like a 4-phase fight, there should have been a checkpoint at the very least after the second phase. But anyway, just toss a brick, bat them away, and then normally what's going to happen is there's going to be a guy on either side when you get up here. So once again, your teammates are quite capable. See, they finished off the fight for me. So what you want to do now is we're going to skip the next part of the fight by running into the office upstairs, jumping out the window, and then running all the way clear down the opposite side of the area. We're going to skip the tomahawk for now because we just want to get down here as quick as possible. And with the Molotov cocktail in hand, we're going to duck behind cover. And then the moment the door opens, we're going to toss the cocktail, trap and kill all the enemies. The door is going to close. And then once the game catches up with itself, we're going to go through that door. And by catching up with itself, I just mean that all the friendlies have moved down to the area where we just killed those enemies. So now what we're going to do is we're going to replace our melee weapon, which has a couple of uses on it. We're going to replace that with the tomahawk, and then we're going to move down over here. And then when you get into this area, they're going to close the door on you, and you're going to be trapped in this room. So I've had an enemy come up the stairs and flank me to the left. I almost got shot by him on another take. It wasn't my undoing, but I did notice that I got flanked. So the best thing you can do over here is to fall back into the safety of this room and primarily rely on your teammates to do the brunt of the work. And it's nothing to be ashamed of, mind you, because do you remember in the first installment of this guide how Tess killed all of the enemies pretty much for us on the first confrontation that we did? It's the same deal with these guys. These guys are just as capable. They're just as effective at killing enemies for you. So if you can save bullets, if you can ever save a bullet, save one. I mean, especially if you need to recoup your losses, like especially after that, because Pittsburgh was not an easy feat to get through, and we had to use a lot of ammunition. So we're recouping our losses. So it just all depends. If you want to hurry it up a little bit, you can participate in the fight. Just realize that if you get put down anywhere from the time where the previous cutscene ended to the time when the next one starts, you're not you have to do everything over again. So it's really bad. But aside from all that, you don't want to cower up here like I'm doing, because what I believe happens is there's only, see the area that I'm aiming at? I'm fairly certain that enemies don't rush you from that room. They don't come over here, and also don't miss any of this ammunition over here, because if you get the cutscene, it's going to put you onto the horse riding section, and you're going to miss out on any pickups. So just make sure that you pick up everything before you clear this last guy. But like I was saying, enemies don't rush you. From my personal observations, they don't rush you, and it's only like one guy that's dug in the office area over there. And remember what I was saying about Tommy's wife? It's just this guy. I believe it's just this guy. There might be more, but like he's the only guy that I saw. And there's also there's really good drops down here. Like this is the second drop. There's also some hunting rifle ammunition by the doorway that I'm gonna get in a moment. So not only did we get a bunch of good drops, but I only shot, I think, the one time, wasn't it? I think one time. If I haven't shot yet, you'll probably see me try to shoot this guy over here. Yeah, I think that was the only time I shot on this whole fight. So yes, we did use a Molotov, but the Molotovs are very cheap to craft. They're not bad at all as far as resource usage of resources. Okay, there we go. We got a hunting rifle pickup right there. Let's not forget to reload it. Reload our gun. So I wasn't aware of the conceit since I hadn't played this game in a couple years, but I believe the conceit here is that the women are trapped, or like they're not trapped, but I think they're just hiding in the office. Like they're just holed up in the office, and then once you kill the final guy over here, they'll come out and you'll get a cutscene, you'll get a checkpoint, and then you'll be on the horse riding section. So I did not feel compelled at all to rush this guy, because like when you get in this room, they should have given you a fucking checkpoint. It's ridiculous, the whole no damage aside, that doesn't matter. You know, that's really lousy to not give the player a checkpoint. But that's the new Naughty Dog. That's grounded difficulty. You know, and it's a trend that they continued in Uncharted 4. Yeah, I don't think that this guy comes out. And when you get the L3 button prompt, I believe that signifies that the women are coming out, and that see, I didn't even kill that guy. My teammates killed him for me. Like, they killed the majority of the other enemies on all the other fights. They're good, and they're very capable. So use them or lose them, as the expression goes. Now it's time to saddle up and do some horseback riding. Don't follow Tommy too much, because he's going to go the wrong way at one point. So 2 fights left. So up here there's an area where you do take permanent damage. So we haven't taken I'm sorry, not permanent damage, mandatory damage. There's a part where you I think the horse trips over something and you fall down and take mandatory damage. So like I said, Tommy goes the wrong way. The correct way is over here to the right, and mandatory damage coming up. We haven't seen that since the second installment. Remember when the clicker grabbed us and we took some mandatory damage there? Well, this is the second area of the game where you cannot avoid taking damage. So we're just going to ignore it and heal up at the end of the fight, because on the barbecue there's some sort of an HP kit so that we can heal ourselves. So see that? You take damage. So the fight is going to start out as a fight. It can be de-escalated. I'm going to use this weapon to get some quick kills for myself in. Whenever you hear the arsonist say anything like "here it comes" or "prepare to burn" or something, I'm not sure what he says. Get ready to burn. Whenever he says that, you want to move away from the truck and head over to the right. And if you stay hidden long enough, you can, like I said, de-escalate the fights, so that you don't have to be combative here. So the strange thing is, besides all that screen flickering there, I'm not sure what that is. It's probably the game loading another section of the game. Personally, I don't mind things like that if they're random. I mean, things that don't occur too frequently. But the strange thing about the arsonist is that he's very much focused on throwing the Molotovs at Tommy, not you. And it might not be Tommy per se, it might just be the truck area. So you definitely want to head over here when he's throwing his shit, so we don't get hit by him. So if you stay hidden over here long enough, you can de-aggro these enemies. So they're going to just be on their patrol routes. So you see that barbecue up there? On there is some sort of a hamburger or something that you can gobble up and heal yourself in. So we're going to do that at the end of the fight, because we don't want to stick our necks over there and leave them on the chopping block for these folks. But I believe we've got a machete. So, oh no, we've got the hatchet. I'm not sure when I pick up a machete, but that must have triggered some folks. So there is a part over here. See, some of these enemies they're armored, like right there. If that guy hadn't, if I had done the armor upgrade for my hunting rifle, I could have headshotted him. But all I did was knock his helmet off. So I do plan on getting the armor piercing upgrade. I'm gonna do it soon, because I know there are helmeted enemies and enemies with body armor, such as these guys over here. I'm not sure what they're called, like scouts or something. I'm not really sure what they're called. Bandits is what they're called. Bandits. So I could have potentially saved a round over there, but get the fuck out of my way, Tommy. Like, I don't really care much for the clipping that goes on in this game. I just played Gears of War 4, Gears 4, and this whole clipping nonsense didn't exist in that game. So I was really upset when I started to see clipping in this game because it's quite annoying. This fight over here is difficult for me personally because it's very like, get out of my way. I appreciate your help, Tommy, but he was just in the way over there. So personally for me, luring enemies to the area that you start out over here is much easier than trying to navigate around the cabin over there, and there isn't much to find in the way of items to hide or objects to hide behind. I think we just have 2 enemies left. So this is just I love this area. This is a very cool area. God, the frame rate is so good, guys. It's like playing another version of a game you love. It's so damn good. I don't really know the resolution either. I'd have to double check on that. If it's 720, it doesn't look like 720. It looks like, see, and then the thing about that is, sometimes it's hard for me to tell, but I can definitely tell now that I've had something to compare it with. The frame rate, I can definitely tell when something is not in 60 frames per second. So whom do we have left? This guy? Yeah, this guy should be easy to kill. If it's just one guy like that left. So what exists over here in the form of pickups? Well, in the cabin there is an arrow, so we're definitely going to get that. I would like to have a little bit more arrows if I could. But you know, what can you do? What can you really do? This game also doesn't have cover that you snap into like the Uncharted games or like Gears of War. It's just passive. Is it called passive? Foliage in my way again. Yeah, I think it's called passive cover. Cover that you just go up to and he just kind of pushes himself up against it a little bit lightly. Yeah, this guy is marked for death. And it might be him that, no, I don't know. I think this guy must have a machete or something, because I remember in the next fight having a machete. Oh, this must be the guy that I knocked his helmet off. Yeah, that's who this guy is. Okay. Let's circle around this rock and see if we could take him down. The fuck is he? Yeah, he ain't coming over here. I'm gonna have to make a move. This fucker isn't coming over here. Sack of shit. All right, all done. Now, if you notice the HP on the barbecue, whatever it is, the hamburg or the hot dog, it's gonna say not full. It's not gonna say not full, or it's not gonna say full. So we did have to heal there, but like I said, it's mandatory damage. So everybody who plays this game is gonna find himself taking damage. And why do you say him and not her? Because, oh, look at that jump. So you can jump in this game. I know you can. It's a pansy jump, but maybe you can jump in the new God of War. I'm actually kind of excited to play it because it's something different. It comes out on the 20th of April. So I've already picked it up. I've already purchased it digitally. So I'm gonna be playing it. Maybe you can jump in that game too. I doubt you can. All right, fight's cleared. The only thing that I know of in that area is that arrow and obviously the HP. So now we are at full HP. So they must just reduce your health a little bit. Right? Wouldn't you say that? So if you don't know the backstory over here, Ellie has ran away and taken a horse with her. So we might have to give her a good old horse whooping. What do you guys say? Gonna whip her ass a little bit. Give her a fucking whooping for you know, for causing us all this trouble. Give her a good old-fashioned hoss whopping. And of course, you have to hold down the run button to make the horse go faster. So she should be over here. Now, I'm going to be going directly. So I've memorized all of the objects' locations in this guide, you guys. So, you know, so I don't want this to be the type of guide where I'm opening drawers that I know have nothing in them. And I know this is kind of that game. It's that kind of game where you're just searching for good stuff. But I just memorize where all the stuff is, not from past experience, but just so what is that? That was I think a piece of cloth or a rag. I think that's technically called a rag. So what do we have over here? Cool, quarter pair of scissors. That's going to help us create a shiv. I still cannot make a shiv. It's frustrating. So what do we have? A quarter of alcohol. And then we're going to be going down to this door over here. There's nothing to the right. And then there's going to be... this is a really easy fight. Like, it's 4 guys. That's all it is. So remember, with these hunters, you don't even have to crouch. You can just walk normally. But I'm always in the habit of crouching anyway. But trust me, you don't have to crouch. I think what I do it for is to make myself less of a target. Oh, this guy has the machete. Oh, okay. Okay. And you do a brutal takedown on him because he is the end of a wave. And then when you come down here, if you make any noise, they're going to throw a smoke bomb. So be quiet. Oh, there's 3 guys down here. I'm sorry. This guy usually goes into the kitchen area, but he took it upon himself to go over to the living room. So I made bold to go after this target, take him down. And I usually get spotted on this section. So if it comes down to it, we're going to machete anybody who sees us. And I think I get the caution noise over here. Did I get... I always get heard. Maybe I didn't this time. Albeit I didn't get heard. I didn't get heard. That's cool. Maybe I screw up somehow. Where is this guy? Oh, there he is. Oh, you know what happened? The game did that for me. I didn't want to use my machete, but the game used it for me. So, again, what can you do? Well, you can do one thing for me if you care to, and that is to take care. Would you mind doing that for me? Thank you. Please take care. Seriously, and I will see you in the next video. Best regards.